remote schema permissions so there was a previous presentation on the same topic by Tiru on last October community call. And if anyone has not seen, this is a wonderful presentation by Tiru. He has explained how the things are working under the hood and some detailed explanation. So I'm not going to deep dive into that, but I'm going to show you something interesting with the UI. So previous demo, it was having uh, text input, and we were kind of entering the type of the schema, and we were applying a note onto that. But now we have progressed with adding a permission to remote schema with a user interface, and also the user interface will let you to add a preset onto remote schema. So I'll show you one by one. So I'm going to show you a locally running Hasura instance. If you look at my screen, I hope you all can see my screen with the Hasura console. Cool. Yeah. So right now I do have a locally running Hasura instance, which is a custom pull at this moment. And I do have a simple table here, but I'm not gonna do anything with this. I also have a remote schema, which is coming from Heroku. I do have a I do have a deployment in Heroku, and that's what I added here. And if you look at here, without any role, I'm gonna see I can see everything because it has got admin privileges. And now, the moment when I enable Hasura role and with a custom headers, you are not able to see the remote schema fields, right? And what I'm going to do is I can now access permissions on by selecting a particular remote schema. And in this case, I'm going to click on this Heroku remote schema, and I'm going to click on permissions. So now this is a familiar user interface, right? We do have a similar thing in data tab as well. So similarly, I'm going to create a new role called user. And now you can see all a schema definition in a differently looking user interface. And if you look, we do have query root, mutation root. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add specific fields to this particular role. So let's say I don't want to expose user aggregate or maybe user by PK. I don't want to expose these two. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to uncheck these two, and I'm simply going to save this permission. And when I go to GraphQL, and if I expose, if I open this, I'm only able to see user. So this way, even if the remote schema has multiple fields or multiple arguments or things like that, you can have a control on that, and you can hide or show a particular field to a particular row. So at the moment when I remove that, I'm able to see other fields as well. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm quickly gonna query for this. Yeah, so now I got all the response, right? And now I'm gonna jump into the next part. I'm gonna add presets to remote schema. So the typical use case of having a preset is more like, let's say I'm in this case, I'm querying user from a totally different GraphQL endpoint, right? So I want to limit the user to have arguments in it. So in this case, let's say I don't want to expose all the users to the end user, and I want to show only the user with the same user ID, whatever the header equal to X Hasura user ID. Let's see how we can achieve that. So I'm going to go back to remote schema permissions. Again, clicking on remote schemas, going to permissions, clicking on this, expanding this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a condition here. And I'm going to say user, the argument part, I'm going to say ID equal to X. Hasura user ID. Yeah, I'm gonna save the same. So now let's go and see. You are not able to see where closing here, right? So this is like from the schema itself, that particular thing is gone. But if I remove that, I'll be able to see this. This is awesome, right? And I'll be able to see only the user for that particular access. In this case, 2. And if I change it to 1, and if I run it, I'm able to see only this thing. And you cannot pass any arguments to user other than the visible ones. So basically, if I go back to UI, there are a couple of things which you can do. We can select check or uncheck fields, and we can add presets. But in going future, we're gonna make it a little more accessible in terms of accessibility and convenience. So this, oops, yeah, how do I move it? Cool. So this is how it is going to be in the future. Like we'll get a more accessible interface. You'll be able to open fields and you can see arguments separately. You can see fields and you'll have convenient features like toggle all fields at the same time with a single button click, and you'll have suggestions, stuff like that. So this is what we are gonna make, and this is where we are with the UI at this moment. Uh, cool. I think that's all with my presentation. Thank you.